Hello guys, Chris here and welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing the RX 5700 XT in PUBG Season 9 with the new Volcano map, of course. I am running it with a Ryzen 7 3700X and 16 gigs of RAM. Latest drivers from AMD, Adrenaline 2020 20.10.1. This one is the PowerColor Dual Fan Edition of the card. It doesn't really have a model name for some reason, but it's not the reference, it's not the Red Dragon. It sits in the middle of those. Let's go over the settings right now. I'm playing at 1080p and I'm also going to be testing it at 1440p using the very low and high settings. And the reason I'm using the very low settings first is because some of you might be interested in a high refresh rate experience, and I still believe the 5700 XT can provide a high refresh rate experience on high settings, at least at 1080p. But let's go ahead and do it. Here we go. And I'm gonna try to get as far away as possible from everybody else. We're gonna go to that little area in the map. Yeah, the previous RX 570 video that I made in Season 9, it didn't go very well, to say the least. It was really bad, guys. I just played like crap. I was always dying. And hopefully it's not the case here with this GPU. I'm gonna start counting our FPS. We're getting 200 plus right. Oh my gosh. By the way, I am recording with AMD's Relief software, so expect like 5 more FPS because I am recording at least at 1080p with the very low settings. Once we become GPU bound, the FPS difference between recording and not recording is going to be only like 1 or 2 FPS. Still, the experience is pretty much the same whether I'm recording or not. I've seen a way bigger difference of like 10 to 15 FPS between recording and not recording with Call of Duty Cold War, for example, and in that video I chose to use the capture card instead of the internal recording of this GPU. But here, as it's only a 5 FPS difference and we're getting averages in the 200s, it's not really that big of a deal, you know. And it seems like we managed to stay alive for at least 2 minutes now. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's way better than the RX 570 video, guys. So that's amazing, okay. And the game is running absolutely smoothly, by the way. We're not seeing any stuttering issues. I believe the last time that I tested this GPU in PUBG, we got several stuttering issues in this game, very noticeable ones. Right now we still get a few here and there, but they're not really that noticeable, and I will say that this is an extremely playable and smooth experience. Like, it's obvious we're getting 200 plus FPS sometimes. This is insane, guys. Okay, wow, holy crap. And the GPU is not even maxed out, of course. If it was running at 99% usage with something like an i9 9900K overclocked, it would probably be capable of getting 240 FPS average. So you can definitely run a 1080p 240Hz monitor if you have a 5700 XT. Just keep in mind that you will also need a very beefy CPU. And if you have something like a Ryzen 5 3600 or Ryzen 3 3300X, you're gonna get the same FPS as I'm getting right here. Alright, looking this direction, our FPS actually do drop quite a bit into like the 120s, and that's looking in this general direction. I'm not sure why that is, maybe because of the volcano there? I'm not sure. Wait a second. Oh, whoa, what is happening? Okay, we can see the volcano right there, and we're getting 120 to 130 FPS. If I get it off the screen, we're still getting kind of the same FPS. What? Wait a second. Is that a hacker? What? Not sure what's going on right now, guys. Okay, we're in a slightly bigger, like, city area. It's not really a city, you know, but you know what I mean. We're still getting 144 plus FPS around here, so that's amazing. If I look in that direction, it's not dropping anymore, so not really sure what's going on with that, to be honest, guys. 2560 by 1440 with the very low settings applied. We're still getting kind of the same FPS or higher. I don't know what's going on. Of course, right now the GPU is maxed out, so we're not really losing as many FPS by the recording system. Probably not. Like, looking that direction, we get 120s to 140s again. Yeah, the FPS are quite inconsistent. Anyways, 1% lows are slightly lower than 1080p so far, and the averages are also a little bit lower than 1080p. So it's definitely getting different results at 1440p because we are GPU bound a few times here and there. Of course, right now, for example, we're still CPU bound, so if we were playing at 1080p, looking in this direction right now, we would also be getting like 150 to 160 FPS because the CPU is the bottleneck right now. It's what's limiting our frames. But in areas like this one, for example, you can see the GPU utilization going up there in the upper 90s. We would be getting higher frames at 1080p resolution. So that's what's causing our averages to be a little bit lower than at 1080p. It seems like looking in the general direction of this city over there or that area, it drops our FPS by a lot. Look at that, 98 there. Right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the hell? I wasn't looking at him, I was looking at the FPS, so oh boy. Okay, everything is fine though. If you want a competitive experience, this is definitely it. You know, it's still very smooth, even though it drops into the 90s a few times here and there. In PUBG, it's not really that big of a deal, at least in my opinion. I could play this game for a long time with 40 FPS when it released, and I was fine with that, even with a few drops into the 30s and 20s. So of course playing with 90 plus FPS at all times is no issue. Like, it's amazing, guys. Oh boy. Okay, well, this is bad. I see him. He was there. All right. See, this is why I don't really play PUBG. We got 150 FPS on average and 91 1% lows. You can definitely run a high refresh rate 1440p monitor and have a lot of fun doing so. I think this map is just a little bit too open. There isn't a lot of cover and it's quite small. Let's set it back to 1080p at high settings this time around. And there we go, everything is applied, and let's get back to it. Okay, so it seems like there's another squad dropping in this general direction. Maybe not, I'm not too sure. Anyways, let's just start counting our FPS. You can see that we are still CPU bound at the high settings at 1080p resolution. So the 5700 XT still has a little bit of performance left in the tank to give, you know. It's still a good experience. I don't really see much of a problem with CPU bottlenecks. People always seem to hate CPU bottlenecks like it's something out of this world, like you should not bottleneck your GPU. I just believe that bottlenecks are completely normal in PCs, okay? The bottleneck is always going to be something in your computer, whether it's the RAM, the CPU, or the GPU. You just usually want it to be your GPU because it's kind of easier to swap out and upgrade it. You know, it's just remove the GPU, slot in another one, and there you go. For a CPU upgrade, you gotta remove the cooler, you gotta replace the thermal paste, and sometimes you even have to upgrade your motherboard as well. So if you're fine with this kind of performance, 150 FPS average, which like 90% of you or 99% of you will be fine with this performance at 1080p on high settings. Yeah, just play like this. Just forget you have a CPU bottleneck because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. As long as it doesn't stutter, which it isn't stuttering at all, you're fine. You're good to go. You're good to have a good experience here in this game. It feels smooth. It feels responsive. You can definitely play like this. And I think it is time for us to test 1440p at the high settings. Okay, that guy's down. Let me just kill him if I can. Oh, there's the other one. Oh boy, okay, yeah, this is not a good idea. It's not a very smart idea, you know. I don't think I'm hitting him, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set it to 1440p right now. We got basically the same FPS as 1440p with the very low settings. And there we go, 2560 by 1440 using the high settings preset. And right now we are fully GPU bound, so yep, if you want to be GPU bound, just get a 1440p monitor with your 5700 XT. And I am so sorry, my friends, they both died right now while I was changing the settings. So yeah, let's just move this way and hopefully not get killed. Now, this is not really as high refresh rate of an experience as it was at 1080p, of course, and 1440p with a very low setting. So if you wanted to get those 150 FPS on average, you can't really do it with the 5700 XT, at least at high settings, 1440p. But the game does look beautiful. It's still a smooth experience. It's still a high refresh rate experience, because you can definitely tell the difference between 110 FPS on average and 60. And to be honest, guys, I would play like this. If I was playing PUBG just for fun, you know, I will definitely set it at 1440p with the high settings. The game looks okay. It looks way better than low settings, of course, and it plays amazing still with this GPU. You can see that the FPS don't really drop from 90, at least from the 1% lows there. So you're absolutely fine to have a wonderful competitive experience in this one. And it seems like, yeah, over here, looking this direction, we are still CPU bound, even at 1440p with the high settings, guys. Yeah, this game is just a little bit kind of unoptimized, I would say, at least in the CPU department, from what I'm seeing at least. And okay, we shot that one. Not sure what I'm doing, to be honest. I should probably just camp somewhere, but I want to see the FPS. Should we try to do this, guys? No, that's, yep, bad idea probably. Oh my gosh, okay, the guy, instead of running off, oh my gosh, okay. Well, it's now, I'm gonna die, maybe? I'm not sure, guys. Alright, I'm gonna use the first aid. It's all good. It's all good right now. I'm just gonna move this way. Oh my gosh. Nope, nope. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. How are you doing? No, he's not gonna hit me. Alright, all good? Oh my god, not all good. Okay, so 117 FPS average, 92, 1% lows. This is a good experience, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one very soon, hopefully. Love you all. Bye bye.